Before there were books, before the internet, before even writing itself, mankind found a way to speak across time. This is the incredible story of how humans recorded their world, from ochre-stained cave walls to the invisible code of the digital age. Welcome to the epic journey of our greatest invention, the documentation of civilization. Roughly 40,000 years ago, in the dark silence of Europe's caves, the first historians emerged, not with words, but with symbols. These Paleolithic people painted mammoths, deer, and hunters in action. Was it ritual, instruction, or the first attempt to say, "We were here"? What would drive a prehistoric person, with no written language, to crawl deep underground and paint their story for no one to see? The answer lies in our DNA. We are wired to remember. Cuneiform, the invention of writing itself. Around 3200 BCE, necessity gave birth to innovation in ancient Sumer. As city-states grew and trade became complex, oral memory failed. The solution? Cuneiform, a system of wedge-shaped marks impressed into clay with a stylus. At first, it was administrative. 5 sheep were owed, and 30 bushels were received. But then it evolved. By 2000 BCE, Sumerian scribes began using cuneiform to write poetry, legal codes, medicine, and even dreams. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's oldest stories, survives in this script, a hero's journey preserved on baked clay. Clay tablets may seem primitive, but they were immortal. Paper burns, hard drives crash, but a clay tablet, buried beneath sand, can whisper to us after 5,000 years. Egypt, where writing became divine. In Egypt, writing took on a sacred role. The gods were thought to have given the gift of hieroglyphs to humanity. Writing wasn't just functional, it was divine law, preserved for eternity. And for this, the Egyptians developed a new medium, papyrus. Papyrus revolutionized writing. Light, portable, durable, an early ancestor to the modern book. On these scrolls, Egyptians wrote about agriculture, astronomy, medicine, court records, and the afterlife. Scribes became the intellectual elite. Without them, pharaohs had no voice, laws had no reach, and history had no anchor. The Rosetta Stone, a decree written in 3 scripts, became the key to unlocking Egyptian writing. For over 1,000 years, their stories were mute until the 19th century. What other lost scripts are still waiting to speak? The rise of records, China, India, and ancient archives. Visual, oracle bones, Vedic chants, Chinese court scholars copying scrolls. In ancient China, writing emerged independently around 1200 BCE. The earliest Chinese texts were found on oracle bones, turtle shells, and ox scapulae inscribed with divinations. But this system evolved into one of the longest-lasting written traditions in the world. China's dynasties kept detailed bureaucratic records, tax logs, family registers, and imperial decrees, preserved through rigorous copying by scholars. Meanwhile, in India, the oral Vedas were passed down with mathematical precision. Eventually, Brahmin priests inscribed them in Sanskrit on palm leaves, giving us the Rig Veda, Upanishads, and early treatises on surgery, mathematics, and governance. When Rome fell, much of its knowledge was lost. But in Asia, empires had already mastered the art of preserving memory across millennia. Could these parallel systems hold the keys to understanding our future? Religion and the Word, preservation of the sacred. Religion became the guardian of knowledge. The Hebrews meticulously transcribed Torah scrolls, letter by letter, generation after generation. The Quran, memorized and transcribed under Caliph Uthman, was canonized and protected through calligraphy. In Christian Europe, monasteries became the last bastions of knowledge, where monks copied texts in candlelight for centuries. These religious texts weren't just spiritual. They preserved languages, philosophies, and sciences during turbulent times. In the Dark Ages, it was the scribes, not kings, who held the power of memory. If they hadn't copied what came before, would we even remember it? The printing press, explosion of knowledge. In 1440, Johann Gutenberg built a machine that would change everything, the printing press. With it, books could be mass-produced for the first time. What had once taken years to hand copy could now be done in hours. The Gutenberg Bible spread scripture across Europe. Martin Luther used the press to challenge the church. The scientific revolution was born on paper. Newspapers, pamphlets, and novels shaped public opinion, and soon, history was being written by everyone. With one invention, the elite lost their monopoly on knowledge. But new questions emerged. Who controls what gets printed? What truths get erased? Digital documentation, memory in the machine. The 20th century saw the next great leap. With the rise of computers, we began documenting everything: emails, images, voices, even our locations. Digital records became the new scrolls, with memory stored not in libraries, but in code. Today, in a single second, we generate more data than all the scrolls of ancient civilizations combined. Yet with this abundance comes fragility. Formats become obsolete, storage degrades, and data is lost in outages, cyber attacks, and policy changes. Will future historians be able to access our world, or will we become the first civilization to forget itself accidentally? The eternal record. From the shadows of caves to the glow of screens, mankind has always found a way to say, "We were here." We etched in stone, we inked on parchment, we typed into clouds. The tools changed, but the mission did not. To record is to exist beyond death. To document is to defy time. If you found this journey meaningful, like, comment below, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, Cyber Theo, for more immersive deep dives into the untold stories of civilization.